The wallet hit the mahogany table with a sound like a gunshot. Leather against wood, echoing through the dining room of Vanessa's parents' house. $23 and a maxed-out Visa card spilled across the white tablecloth, landing between the crystal wine glasses and my mother-in-law's prized china. "You're a failure!" Vanessa's voice cracked like a whip, her face twisted with years of accumulated disappointment and rage. "Can't even pay the bills. Look at this pathetic excuse for a wallet." The silence that followed was deafening. 8 pairs of eyes stared at the scattered contents of my financial life. Or what they thought was my financial life. My father-in-law cleared his throat and reached for his wine glass. Vanessa's mother pursed her lips in that way she'd perfected over 40 years of judging people. Her sister Trina smirked from across the table, clearly enjoying the show. But it was Greg, Trina's husband, who delivered the killing blow. "She deserves better, see," he said with a laugh that sounded like gravel in a blender. His eyes weren't on me, though. They were fixed on the keys I'd set beside my plate, the keys to what he thought was a beat-up old Porsche 911 gathering dust in my garage. Hell, maybe I should take that old junker off your hands, put it out of its misery. I looked around the table at these people I'd called family for the past 4 years. Vanessa sat there breathing hard, her chest heaving with righteous indignation, her perfectly manicured fingers still trembling from throwing my wallet. She was beautiful, I'd give her that. Blonde hair that cost more than most people's rent, designer dress that probably cost more than most people's cars, and a face that could stop traffic. But right now, all I could see was the ugliness beneath. "Simon," my father-in-law said quietly, "perhaps we should all calm down and—" "No!" I stood up slowly, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. "I think I've heard enough." I walked around the table and picked up my wallet, gathering the scattered bills and cards with deliberate care. Nobody moved to help. Nobody said a word. The only sound was the ticking of the grandfather clock in the corner and the soft clink of ice in someone's water glass. "You know what, Vanessa?" I said, my voice steady and calm. "You're absolutely right. You do deserve better." I left the wallet sitting in the middle of the table like a gauntlet thrown down, walked to the front door, and stepped out into the cool October evening. Behind me, I could hear the murmur of voices starting up again, probably dissecting every word, every gesture, every sign they'd missed that I was finally cracking under the pressure of being married to their golden girl. If only they knew. If only they knew that in 72 hours, I'd be worth more money than all of them combined. If only they knew that the struggling tech startup I've been pouring my life into for the past 3 years was about to be acquired by Microsoft for $18 million. If only they knew that the worthless junker Greg was eyeing had been professionally appraised at $180,000 just last month. But they didn't know. And that was exactly how I wanted it. I climbed into my worthless Porsche, turned the key, and listened to the engine purr like a satisfied cat. The sound was better than any symphony, sweeter than any apology they might offer. I pulled out of the driveway slowly, deliberately, giving them plenty of time to watch me leave through their precious lace curtains. 3 days. That's all I had to wait. 3 days, and then we'd see who the real failure was. My garage had always been my sanctuary, but tonight it felt different. Tonight it felt like a war room. I sat in my leather office chair, the one Vanessa always complained about because it didn't match her vision of our aesthetic, and stared at the email that had been sitting in my inbox for the past 6 hours. The subject line was innocuous enough. Final documentation, project redline. But inside that email was a PDF that would change everything. The acquisition agreement. $18 million minus taxes and fees, leaving me with a cool $12.6 million. Not bad for a guy who couldn't even pay his bills, according to his loving wife. I took a sip of beer, a craft IPA that cost more than Vanessa spent on her daily Starbucks habit, and let my eyes wander around the garage. To anyone else, it probably looked like organized chaos. Vintage car parts lined the walls in carefully labeled bins. My tool collection hung from pegboards with the precision of a surgeon's instruments. And in the center of it all, covered by a tarp that had seen better days, sat my pride and joy. I pulled the tarp away with a flourish, even though no one was there to see it. The Porsche 911 gleamed under the fluorescent lights, its guard's red paint job reflecting the overhead bulbs like liquid fire. I'd spent 2 years restoring this beauty, tracking down original parts, rebuilding the engine by hand, making sure every detail was perfect. Greg thought it was worthless. Hell, Vanessa thought it was an embarrassment. She'd begged me to sell it dozens of times, claiming we needed the space, needed the money, needed to look more successful to her friends and family. What she didn't understand was that success wasn't about looking the part. It was about playing the long game. My phone buzzed. A text message from Greg, sent to both Vanessa and me. Hey, Sai, no hard feelings about dinner, right? Listen, if you ever want to get rid of that old car, I know a guy who will give you scrap value for it. Help you out, you know? I laughed out loud, the sound echoing off the concrete walls. Help me out. Right. Another buzz, this one from Vanessa. Simon, please come home. We need to talk. I'm sorry about tonight. I didn't mean what I said. And another from Trina. Mom wants to know if you're okay. She feels bad about what happened. And another from Greg. Seriously, though, about that car, I could probably get you $2,000, maybe $3,000 for it. Cash. $3,000. For a car worth 60 times that amount. The man's generosity was overwhelming. I set the phone aside and walked over to my filing cabinet, the one Vanessa had never bothered to look inside because it was boring business stuff. Inside the bottom drawer, behind folders full of restoration receipts and car show documentation, was a manila envelope marked Redline Dynamics Confidential. Inside that envelope was 3 years of my life. Non-disclosure agreements, development timelines, patent applications, financial projections, and most importantly, the original incorporation documents that clearly showed the company had been founded 6 months before I married Vanessa. In California, that made it separate property, premarital assets. She could scream and cry and throw all the wallets she wanted, but she wouldn't see a penny of the acquisition money. The house we'd bought together, the joint savings account with its whopping $4,000 balance, the wedding gifts we'd never used, she could have half of all that. But the real money, the life-changing money, was mine and mine alone. My laptop chimed with an incoming email. The sender's name made me smile. Microsoft Acquisitions Team. Mr. Rourke, the message began, we're pleased to inform you that all final documentation has been reviewed and approved. The wire transfer will be initiated at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Monday morning. Congratulations on building something truly remarkable. Monday morning, 3 days away, I glanced at the calendar hanging on the wall. Friday, October 13th. Unlucky for some, apparently, but not for me. I opened another beer and settled back in my chair. Tomorrow, I'd call my attorney. Not the family lawyer Vanessa and I had used to buy the house, but the corporate attorney who'd been handling the acquisition. A shark in a $1,000 suit who specialized in high net worth divorces. My phone buzzed again. Vanessa, Simon, I'm worried. Please just text me back so I know you're okay. I stared at the message for a long moment, then typed back, I'm fine, spending the weekend in the garage. Need some time to think. Her response came back immediately. About what? About us? About a lot of things, I replied. About success. About failure. About what people really deserve. The typing indicator showed she was crafting a response. Probably something long and emotional and designed to make me feel guilty for embarrassing her in front of her family. But I didn't wait to see what she'd say. Instead, I turned off my phone and tossed it into the workbench drawer. The garage fell silent except for the hum of the fluorescent lights and the distant sound of traffic on the highway. In 3 days, everything would change. In 3 days, the underdog would finally show his teeth. But tonight, I was content to sit in my sanctuary, surrounded by the fruits of my real labor, planning exactly how I was going to destroy the people who thought they could destroy me. Saturday morning came with the sound of Vanessa's car pulling into the driveway. I heard her heels clicking across the concrete, then the side door of the garage opening without so much as a knock. Simon, we need to talk. Her voice was different now, less angry, more calculating. She'd had time to think, time to realize that maybe she'd pushed too hard at dinner. I didn't look up from the engine I was pretending to work on. I thought we talked plenty last night. That wasn't talking, that was... She paused, searching for the right word. That was a misunderstanding. I was frustrated and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair. Now I did look up. She was wearing her serious conversation outfit, jeans that cost more than most people's monthly car payments, and a cashmere sweater that probably cost more than most people's rent. Her makeup was perfect, her hair was perfect, everything about her was calculated to remind me what I'd be losing if I didn't play along. Frustrated about what exactly? I asked, wiping my hands on a shop rag. About money, Simon. About our future. About the fact that we're supposed to be building a life together, but I feel like I'm the only one who cares about actually succeeding. I almost laughed. Succeeding at what? At life. At being adults. Look around, Simon. We live in a starter home that we bought 4 years ago and haven't upgraded. You drive a car that's older than some of our friends' kids. I can't even invite people over because I'm embarrassed about our furniture. Our furniture's fine. Our furniture's from IKEA. So? She threw her hands up in exasperation. So nothing. That's exactly the problem. You don't care. You're content to just exist. To tinker around in this garage with your little hobby while the world passes us by, my little hobby. The car that was worth more than her parents' house was a little hobby. What do you want me to do, Vanessa? Wave a magic wand and make us rich overnight? I want you to try. I want you to care about something other than old car parts in your failing business. Failing business. If she only knew. My business isn't failing. Really? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you've been hemorrhaging money for 3 years. We haven't taken a real vacation since our honeymoon. We haven't bought anything nice for the house. Hell, Simon, you won't even let me get my nails done without checking the bank balance first. That was true. I'd been careful with money, but not because we didn't have any, because I was reinvesting everything back into the company. Every dollar we didn't spend on Vanessa's idea of success was a dollar that went toward building something real, something lasting. And what about Greg's offer? She continued. He's trying to help us out, and you just walked away like he'd insulted you. Greg's offer. The car, Simon. He knows it's not worth much, but he's willing to give us something for it. We could use that money for a down payment on a better house or what? A vacation to Cabo? A new wardrobe? Another piece of furniture that matches your vision of who we're supposed to be? Her eyes flashed. There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. There's nothing wrong with earning them either. Earning them? Simon, you've been earning them for 3 years and we have nothing to show for it. I set down my tools and really looked at her. This woman I'd married, this woman I'd thought I loved, this woman who knew so little about me that she genuinely believed I was a failure. What if I told you, I said slowly, that in 3 days, everything was going to change? She blinked. What do you mean? What if I told you that I've been working towards something bigger than a new couch or a fancier car or a house that impresses your friends? I'd say you've been telling me that for 3 years, and I'm tired of waiting. And there it was, the truth finally out in the open. She was tired of waiting, tired of being patient, tired of believing that I might actually know what I was doing. Vanessa, I said, do you trust me? She was quiet for a long moment. Too long. I want to, she said finally. But Simon, I need to see something, some sign that all of this, she gestured around the garage, is actually going somewhere. And if you don't see it, another pause, another moment too long. Then maybe we need to think about whether we want the same things out of life. There it was, the ultimatum, delivered with the cold precision of a surgeon's scalpel. Show me the money or show me the door. Okay, I said, give me 3 days. 3 days for what? 3 days to show you something that will change your mind about everything. She looked skeptical, but something in my voice must have convinced her I was serious. What kind of something? The kind that proves I'm not the failure you think I am. She stared at me for a long moment, then nodded slowly. 3 days, Simon. But after that, we're having a very different conversation. She turned and walked back toward the house, her heels clicking against the concrete like a countdown timer. 3 days, 72 hours. And then we'd see who really deserved better. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through my contacts until I found the number I was looking for. Jennifer Walsh, attorney at law, specializing in high net worth divorce cases. I'd been hoping I wouldn't need her number, but Vanessa had just made the decision for me. The phone rang twice before she picked up. Jennifer Walsh. Ms. Walsh, this is Simon Rourke. We met at the tech conference last year. You gave me your card and said to call if I ever needed help with asset protection. Mr. Rourke, yes, I remember. What can I do for you? I need to file for divorce, and I need to do it Monday morning, first thing. Sunday evening, I sat in my home office, going through the stack of bills that Vanessa claimed I couldn't pay. Electric bill paid automatically from my business account 3 days ago. Gas bill paid automatically last week. Mortgage paid automatically on the first of every month for the past 4 years. Never missed a payment. The irony was beautiful in its simplicity. Vanessa thought we were broke because I'd set up all our essential expenses to come out of my business account, the one she didn't have access to. The joint account we both use for day-to-day expenses, groceries, gas, her shopping habits, that one stayed deliberately low. Not because we couldn't afford more, but because every dollar I didn't put into that account was a dollar that stayed in the business, growing, compounding, building towards something bigger. But Vanessa only saw what was in front of her, the joint account with its $4,000 balance, the credit cards I kept at low limits to maintain good credit ratios, the fact that I said no when she wanted to spend money on things we didn't need. She never asked about the business finances, never showed any interest in the spreadsheets, the projections, the careful planning that went into building something from nothing. She just saw the end result, a husband who checked the bank balance before she got her nails done and assumed it meant we were struggling. My phone buzzed with a text from Greg. "Hey C, thought about that car over the weekend? I could probably go as high as 5,000 if it runs good. Let me know." 5,000. The man's generosity continued to astound me. I scrolled through my photo gallery until I found the pictures from the car show last month. My Porsche sitting next to a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and a vintage Aston Martin. The placard in front of it read, 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS. Fully restored. Estimated value, $180,000. Greg had been at that car show. I remembered seeing him walking around with Trina, pointing at different cars, making loud comments about how much money people wasted on toys. He'd walked right past my car without recognizing it, probably because it was clean and sitting in a place of honor instead of covered with a tarp in my garage. Another text, this one from Vanessa. Spent the day thinking about our conversation. I really do want this to work, Simon. I just need to know we're building towards something together. Building towards something together. The phrase stuck in my mind as I looked around my office. 3 years of 18-hour days. 3 years of living below our means. 3 years of saying not yet to every luxury, every upgrade, every sign of success that Vanessa craved. And tomorrow morning, it would all pay off. I opened my laptop and logged into my business banking account. The balance showed $47,000, enough to run the company for another 2 months if the acquisition fell through, which it wouldn't. But tomorrow morning, that number would change dramatically. My personal account, the one tied to our joint account, showed $8,000. Not broke, but not rich either. Certainly not enough to support Vanessa's vision of the lifestyle we should be living. But there was a third account, one Vanessa didn't know about, because it had been opened before we met. My original savings account for my days as a software engineer at Apple. I'd been adding to it slowly, carefully, whenever the business had a good month. The balance wasn't huge, $50,000, but it was mine alone, completely separate from anything marital. Tomorrow, that account would become very interesting indeed. I closed the laptop and walked back out to the garage. The Porsche sat under its tarp like a sleeping giant, waiting for its moment to shine. I pulled the cover off and ran my hand along the smooth curve of the fender. The paint was perfect, the chrome was spotless, every detail exactly as it should be. This car represented everything Vanessa didn't understand about me. It wasn't about showing off or impressing people. It was about taking something broken and making it better than new. It was about patience, attention to detail, and the satisfaction of a job done right. It was about building something that would last. My phone rang. Vanessa. "Hey," she said, her voice softer than it had been in weeks. "Are you coming to bed soon?" "In a little while, just finishing up some things." "Simon," a pause. "I really am sorry about Friday night. I shouldn't have thrown your wallet like that. It was childish." "It was honest," I said. "Maybe that's what we needed." "What do you mean?" "I mean, maybe it's time we stop pretending we want the same things." Silence on the other end of the line. Then, "Is that what you think? That we don't want the same things? I think you want to look successful and I want to be successful. There's a difference. That's not fair, isn't it? When's the last time you asked about the business, Vanessa? Really asked, not just complained about the money. When's the last time you showed any interest in what I'm actually building?" Another pause, longer this time. I ask about it. You ask about the money. You ask when it's going to start paying off. You ask why I'm working so many hours. But you've never once asked what we're building. Son, who our clients are, what makes this company special. Because I don't understand that stuff. Because you don't want to understand it. There's a difference. I could hear her breathing on the other end of the line. Could picture her sitting on our bed. The bed she'd complained wasn't big enough, wasn't nice enough, wasn't worthy of the master bedroom she'd envisioned. Tomorrow, I said. Tomorrow you'll understand everything. Promise? I promise. But Vanessa, after tomorrow, things are going to be different between us. One way or another. I hung up before she could ask what I meant. Some conversations were better left for daylight, and tomorrow was going to bring plenty of that. Monday morning, 9:47 a.m. Pacific Time. I was sitting in Jennifer Walsh's office, signing the last of the divorce papers, when my phone chimed with the sound I'd been waiting 3 years to hear. Bank notification. Wire transfer received. Amount: $12,600,000. Available balance: $12,650,000. Jennifer looked up from her paperwork. Good news? The best, I said, showing her the screen. The acquisition just closed. Her eyebrows went up. Congratulations. That's going to make this process much more straightforward. We'd spent the morning going over the details. Redline Dynamics had been incorporated 6 months before my marriage to Vanessa, making it separate property under California law. The acquisition proceeds, the intellectual property, the patents, all of it belonged to me alone. Vanessa would be entitled to half of our marital assets, which consisted of about $120,000 in home equity and the $4,000 in our joint savings account. What about spousal support? I'd asked. Given the length of the marriage and the fact that she's capable of working, probably minimal, if anything, especially if we can demonstrate that the marriage breakdown was due to her behavior. Her behavior, like throwing my wallet across her parents' dinner table and calling me a failure in front of her entire family. I have recordings, I'd told her. Text messages, voicemails. She's been quite vocal about her feelings regarding my financial situation. Jennifer had smiled. Those will be helpful. Now, with the acquisition complete and the divorce papers filed, all that was left was the notification process. Jennifer's office would serve Vanessa with the papers this afternoon, along with a letter explaining that all communication should go through legal counsel. My phone was buzzing constantly. Text after text from Vanessa, wondering where I was, why I wasn't answering, whether everything was okay. I'd told her I had meetings all day, which was technically true. At 11:30, I drove to the bank to confirm the wire transfer in person. The manager, a woman named Patricia, who'd been handling my business accounts for 2 years, nearly fell out of her chair when she saw the balance. Mr. Rourke, this is quite a deposit. It's been a good week, I said. She helped me set up additional security measures, new account numbers, and a private banking relationship that would keep my financial information completely confidential. By noon, everything was locked down tight. At 12:15, my phone rang. Vanessa. Simon, where are you? I've been calling all morning. I told you, I have meetings today. What kind of meetings? With who? Business meetings, Vanessa. The kind you've never been interested in. That's not true. I am interested. You just what? You just threw my wallet across your parents' table and called me a failure? You just told me I can't pay our bills? You just said I deserve to have my car taken away? Silence. Simon, I apologized for that. I was upset. I didn't mean... You meant every word. And you know what? You were right about one thing. You do deserve better. What's that supposed to mean? It means you're going to get exactly what you deserve. I hung up and turned off my phone. At 2:30, Jennifer called the office landline. The papers have been served, she said. Your wife is not taking it well. Define not well. She's demanding to speak with you directly. She says there's been a mistake, that you can't afford a divorce attorney, that this is all some kind of joke. I laughed. What did you tell her? I told her that all communication needs to go through my office and that she should retain counsel immediately. I also mentioned that given your recent change in financial circumstances, she might want to act quickly. Did you tell her about the acquisition? I didn't have to. It's public record as of this morning. Microsoft announced it in their quarterly report. Of course, I'd forgotten about that. By now, the news would be spreading through our entire social circle. Vanessa's family, her friends, everyone who'd witnessed my humiliation on Friday night would be reading about how the failure they'd mocked had just sold his company for $18 million. My phone, which I'd turned back on, immediately started buzzing with notifications, text messages, missed calls, voicemails. I scrolled through them with growing amusement. Greg, dude, is this real? Did you really just sell your company for 18 million? Trina, Simon, please call me. Vanessa is hysterical. She says you filed for divorce, but that can't be right. Vanessa's mother, Simon, dear, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Please call us. And then, the best one of all, from Greg. Hey man, about that car. Maybe we should talk. I might have been a little hasty with my estimate. I drove home slowly, taking the scenic route through town. At every red light, I checked my phone for new messages. By the time I pulled into my driveway, I had 37 unread texts and 14 missed calls. But I didn't go into the house. Instead, I went straight to the garage, pulled the tarp off my Porsche, and just sat in the driver's seat for a while, listening to the silence. Tomorrow, the real fun would begin. Tuesday morning brought a symphony of desperation that was better than any alarm clock. My phone had been buzzing all night, and when I finally checked it at 7 a.m., I found 43 text messages, 19 missed calls, and 11 voicemails. I made coffee, good coffee, the expensive stuff I'd been buying in small quantities for months, and settled into my office chair to enjoy the show. Voicemail number 1, Vanessa, Monday, 3:47 p.m. Simon, what the hell is going on? Some woman just served me with divorce papers at Starbucks. In front of everyone. This is insane. Call me back right now. Voicemail number 2, Vanessa, Monday, 4:23 p.m. I don't understand what's happening. The lawyer says you sold your company for $18 million? That can't be right. You would have told me. We're married, Simon. We tell each other things. Call me. Voicemail number 3, Greg, Monday, 5:15 p.m. Sigh, buddy, I just saw the news about Microsoft. Holy crap, man. 18 million? And here I was trying to help you out with a few thousand for that old car. Listen, forget everything I said on Friday. We're family, right? Call me back. I had to pause the playback because I was laughing too hard to hear the rest. Greg's voice had gone from condescending to a-kissing in the span of 3 days. It was beautiful. Voicemail number 4, Vanessa, Monday, 6:33 p.m. Simon, please, I'm scared. I don't understand what's happening. The lawyer won't tell me anything except that I need to get my own attorney. But attorneys cost money, and if you're really divorcing me, Simon, I can't afford a good lawyer. You know that. Please, just talk to me. We can work this out. Now we were getting somewhere. The panic was starting to set in. Voicemail number 5, Trina, Monday, 7:45 p.m. Simon, it's Trina. Vanessa's here crying her eyes out. She says you won't take her calls. Look, I know things got heated on Friday, but we're family. We stick together. Whatever's going on with your business, that's wonderful, but don't let money change who you are. Call your wife. Voicemail number 6, Vanessa's father, Monday, 8:12 p.m. Son, it's Robert. I think there might be some misunderstanding here. Vanessa says you filed for divorce, but that doesn't sound like you. You're not that kind of man. Let's sit down and talk about this like adults. Whatever happened on Friday, we can work it out. Not that kind of man. Right. The kind of man who sits quietly while his wife humiliates him in public was supposed to just take it forever. Voicemail number 7, Greg, Monday, 9:33 p.m. See, I've been thinking about Friday night, and I owe you an apology. I was way out of line. I had too much wine, and I said some stupid things. About the car, about Vanessa deserving better. That was all BS, man. You know I didn't mean it. We're brothers, right? Brothers don't let money come between them. Brothers. Now I was his brother. Amazing how $18 million could improve family relationships. Voicemail number 8, Vanessa, Mondays, 10:47 p.m. I know you're listening to these. I know you're there. Simon, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have believed in you. I should have trusted you, but you have to understand, you never told me about any of this. How was I supposed to know you were building something so big? You kept everything secret from me, your own wife. There it was, the sufferer card. Somehow my success was actually my fault for not sharing it with the woman who'd spent 3 years calling it a failure. Voicemail number 9, Vanessa, Tuesday, 12:23 a.m. I can't sleep. I keep thinking about Friday night, about what I said, about your face when you walked out. Simon, I love you. I know I haven't been good at showing it lately, but I do. I love you, and I love what we've built together. Please don't throw it all away over one stupid fight. What we'd built together. That was rich. Voicemail number 10, Greg, Tuesday, 6:15. M. Listen, I know it's early, but I couldn't sleep. I keep thinking about that car of yours, the Porsche. I did some research last night, and Jesus, is that thing really worth what I think it's worth? Because if it is, then I'm the biggest idiot in California. Call me, man. We need to talk. And finally, voicemail number 11, Vanessa, Tuesday, 6:45 a.m. The attorney I called wants $50,000 as a retainer. 50,000, Simon. I don't have that kind of money. You know I don't. My credit cards are maxed out from trying to keep up appearances while I thought we were struggling. Please, I'm begging you. Don't do this. Don't destroy our marriage over money. I saved all 11 voicemails to my computer, then started going through the text messages. They followed the same progression: anger, confusion, panic, desperation, and finally bargaining. The best ones were from Greg. Monday, 4:30 p.m. Saw the news. Holy crap, dude. You've been holding out on us. Monday, 6:15 p.m. Seriously, though, about that car. I may have lowballed you a little. What do you think it's actually worth? Monday, 8:45 p.m. Looked it up online. 1973 Carrera RS. Screw me, see? I'm an idiot. Monday, 11:30 p.m. Trina's pissed at me for what I said Friday. Says I ruined everything. Maybe we can all get together this weekend. Start over, Tuesday, 6:30 a.m. I'll pay you 10 grand for the car, right now. Cash. 10 grand. We were making progress, but the real entertainment was in Vanessa's messages. 26 texts that told the complete story of a woman watching her world collapse in real time. Monday, 4 p.m. This is insane, call me. Monday, 5 p.m. $18 million, Simon. $18 million, and you never said anything? Monday, 7 p.m. I can't believe you're doing this to me, to us. Monday, 9 p.m. I talked to Jennifer Walsh's office. They say the company was incorporated before we got married. That means I get nothing, doesn't it? Monday, 11 p.m. The house, Simon. They're saying I might have to sell the house. This is our home. Tuesday, 2 a.m. I drove by the garage. Your car is uncovered. It's beautiful. I never really looked at it before. Really looked. Tuesday, 4 a.m. I Googled 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS. Jesus Christ, Simon. How long have I been living with a millionaire and not known it? Tuesday, 6. Please, I'll do anything. I'll be better. I'll support your business. I'll stop complaining about money. Just please don't leave me with nothing. I finished my coffee and scrolled through the rest. More of the same. Family members who'd gone from mocking me to begging me, friends who suddenly remembered how much they'd always believed in me, and a wife who was finally beginning to understand exactly what she'd thrown away. My phone rang. Vanessa again. This time I answered. Hello, Vanessa. Simon. Oh, thank God. I've been trying to reach you for... I know, I got your messages, all of them. Then you know how sorry I am. You know that I never meant... I know that you're sorry you got caught. I know that you're sorry the money train is leaving the station without you, but I don't think you're actually sorry for what you did. That's not true, isn't it? Tell me, Vanessa, what exactly are you sorry for? Silence. Are you sorry for calling me a failure? Are you sorry for throwing my wallet across your parents' table? Are you sorry for telling your family that I couldn't pay our bills? Or are you just sorry that you found out you were wrong? I'm sorry for all of it. Simon, I was frustrated and scared, and you showed me exactly what you thought of me. You showed me exactly how much respect you had for the man you married, and now that you know I'm worth $18 million, suddenly I'm worth respecting again? It's not about the money, I laughed. Actually laughed out loud. Vanessa, everything with you has always been about money. The house wasn't big enough. The car was embarrassing. The furniture wasn't nice enough. My business was failing because it wasn't making us rich fast enough. And now, magically, when you find out I am rich, you want to work things out? That's not, Simon, you have to understand my position. You kept all of this secret from me. Your own wife, how was I supposed to know? You were supposed to trust me. You were supposed to believe in me. You were supposed to be my partner, not my critic. Another long silence. What do you want? She asked finally. What will it take to fix this? Nothing, I said. There's nothing you can do to fix this, Vanessa. You showed me who you really are, and I believed you. Now I'm showing you who I really am. Simon, please, the divorce papers are filed. The assets are protected. You'll get exactly what you're entitled to under California law, half of our marital property. The house, the joint savings, the wedding gifts we never used. About $60,000 after the lawyers take their cut. 60,000? Simon, that's nothing. That won't even cover my credit card debt. Then you probably shouldn't have maxed out your credit cards trying to look successful while married to a failure. I hung up before she could respond. The phone immediately started ringing again, but I turned it off and tossed it into the desk drawer. Outside, it was a beautiful Tuesday morning. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and somewhere in town, my soon-to-be ex-wife was finally learning the difference between looking successful and being successful.